Hello, this is Kelly, and welcome back to my channel. I have my brother Dan here with me today for another tool time sort of thing. Oh, I don't want to get a copyright strike for that, but
another tool demonstration.
Yes.
Another tool demonstration.
And today he's going to be showing me and you sander, and it's a
random orbital sander. This is Chicago Electric from Harbor Freight. Not sponsored, unfortunately. Would be nice.
Would be very nice.
But anyway, this is a dual action. This is a random orbital sander. That means when you're sanding, it'll makes random swirls. So therefore, it doesn't matter if you're going with the grain or across the grain, because it's random. You know how it moves is random. So therefore, there's no really against the grain or with the grain like there is on some of the other style sanders.
So what this means is if I'm sanding against the grain, it's not going to show.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry. Before we go any further, what we have right here is here. I'll show you the before and after. Okay. This is one of my kitchen cabinets. I have, I think, 24 or 25. Okay. And I have stripped it of almost all of the paint, and so the next step is to sand it. So I'll let you tell.
Yep. So what we do is we're going to go ahead and change out the sandpaper disc. Show you how that works. And this just on this style, it just peels off. This is Velcro attachment. This is so much better than the old style. You just pull it off. It's nothing but Velcro, and then you pitch it. So then you go get a pack of another sandpaper. On this one, we're going to be using 100 grit sandpaper, but you can also get like 220 and even finer grits. You can even get all the way down to, I think, 40 grit with a style sandpaper. So just more aggressive. If you've got a lot of material that you need to take off, that's when you use the rougher grits than that. So what we'll do is...
The higher the number of sandpaper, the finer it is.
Yes.
So you would use like a higher number.
Yeah.
Say if you had a sheet of sandpaper and you were working on, say, a piece of fine furniture.
Yeah, if you were getting to some place where you were going to put like a clear coat or sanding a clear coat, you could get as fine as 1,000, 2,000 grit.
Really?
Paper, and that is for finishing stuff where you're like putting a clear coat on something that you want to have literally no blemishes in, like a car body, something like that. You can go all the way up to that. But for paint, things like that, 100 grit works well. You maybe want to go to 120, but if you're going to prime it, like my sister's going to do, she's going to, after we get done sanding, she's going to put kills on there. 100 grit, 120 grit, you're good to go. You're good to go.
Now, can you use one of these for a car too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they actually make specific ones for cars. They'll actually have a larger head that has more cushion here just because of the different shapes on the cars.
Oh, you want to tell them what this thing is?
Yep. And on this particular model, actually has a dust collection system on it. So as the motor is turning, it blows air, pulls air up through the bottom, through these holes in the pad, and then puts it into the dust collection bag. It does not eliminate all the paint dust or wood dust that's coming off of it, but it really cuts it down. It's surprising how well it works.
Safety tip, wear goggles and a mask.
Yeah.
You don't want to be inhaling all of this, the dust and paint and whatnot. We don't have him on right now because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And this is just, it's not like we're going to be doing, a half hour worth of sanding. Yeah. This is just a quick demonstration. So, not putting them on at this point in time. The other thing you need to watch out for to make sure the dust collection works well is, notice the holes here, notice the holes here. You need to line them up as best you can so that you get as much dust collection as possible.
You can tell I sanded my very first cabinet door last night. This is very exciting. These things are magic. And yes, thank you, Dad. Hi.
So, yep. So this does not have to be perfect on there. You just line them up as best you can. You can even tell that I have the edges are not on here perfect. Yeah, just put them on close. You're good. Because this thing is in random orbiting fashion is how this is going to go.
What is a random orbital? Is
It
like
moves in a circular pattern. Plus, then it also goes in little tiny circles at the same time.
So it goes like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So now what we're going to do is turn it on. The important thing when you're running a sander is you need to have just enough force. If you hold on to it too lightly, it'll jerk around and do things like that. It'll get up on an edge and it could gouge the wood or the paint that you're dealing with. Or if you're bearing down on it and putting too much weight on it, it'll really pull off the material fast. But you could actually, put shallow dips in the surface of the wood as well. So you want to have just enough pressure to keep it from bouncing around, and you let the sandpaper and the sander do the work for you.
Also, when my brother was first, Dan, I always just call him my brother, I don't know why. Anyway, when Dan was first showing me, I was scared of it because it's a power tool and I didn't know what was what. So because he turned it on and went, oh, zzz, and so then I tried to do it and it jumped all over the place. So what he did for me was, I asked him if he would just, I didn't know how.
I put my hand over the top of hers to
Yeah.
show her how much force was needed,
Right.
to give her an idea that it wasn't a lot, but you needed to be slightly firm.
Right.
So
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yep. So here we go, and you just turn it on here on the front. There it goes. You can move it in any direction you want. It's a random orbital. But you don't want to bear down on it, and if you just let it sit here, you kind of just guide it with your fingers. But you want to hold on to it.
That's more pressure.
Yeah.
I thought I had universal pressure.
So you don't need a whole lot of bear down, a whole lot of weight on it. You let the sandpaper and the sander do the work for you. Now, one thing to watch out for is when you get to the edges, you want to make sure that you're not tipping over the edge. You can like run off the edge a little bit, but you want to make sure that you're not going so far to tip over, because what that will do is that will knock this edge off and put a big flat spot on this corner, and you don't want to have that. So, but other than that, you're good to go. I mean, it's again, you just start it up. Away you go. It does not take a whole lot of force, and that's the key. Is you let the sandpaper and the sander do the work for you, and you just guide this where it needs to go. You want to have enough grip to keep it from bouncing around, and that's mainly just when it starts up. And then you just guide it where you want to go. Just kind of let it glide all over the place. And you can tell that really not a whole lot of dust got kicked up from that.
No. Oh, wow.
And there was paint buildup here. Knocked most of that down. She'll just have to go back over this a little bit on the edges here, get the rest of that down, and then be ready for prime. And good to go. I mean, it's really, it's not rocket surgery, but it's just something where it's a nice power tool to have to get this stuff taken care of fast, where you don't have to use hand tools to scrape or do things like that to get this thing ready for priming.
I am so grateful. Before this, again, thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
My dad got me power tools. All I knew was a piece of sandpaper and to do it like this.
Yeah.
And usually I would make a mess of it because I would go too hard in some places, you know, whatever. But this, can you imagine with all of my kitchen cabinets, all 24 or 25 of them, plus the 12 drawers inside and out? It's, I'm so excited. Anyway, so is that it?
Yep, that's it. I mean, this is just a quick one. I mean, these random orbital sand editors they're real quick. They're easy to use, as you can tell. You know, just peel and stick. I mean, this is Velcro. Everybody knows what Velcro is. So, and then line up the holes. Make sure your dust bag's attached. And that really, I mean, you can tell that we weren't kicking up a lot of dust. So those things really work for whatever sander you have. Use the dust collection system, and yeah, go to town because it's sure beats doing it with a sanding block and by hand.
It certainly does.
You know, that's would take you forever to do this by hand.
Yeah.
So you know you can get done like this cabinet face here. You know, you're done in a couple of minutes versus half an hour of doing it by hand. So,
half an hour for you, maybe.
Yeah.
Hours for me. Anyway, so that's it for today. Thanks for joining us here at my gluten-free Dahl house, and my guest of the day today.
Another tool demonstration.
Yeah. So thanks, and I hope you enjoyed this and found it educational and helpful. And if you have any questions at all for myself, if it's about tools, you're probably going to want to ask him. But if you have any questions, leave them below.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, yes. Oh, and hit the notification bell too, because YouTube's been kind of wonky with that. But yeah, if you have any questions about any kind of a tool, or how to use a tool, or why to use one rather than another, leave it below, and Dan will answer it.
Yep, and we'll have more tool videos coming up soon, shortly.
Yes, yes. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us here, and yeah, take care. Enjoy your projects.
Yep.
Okay, so that's it.